Echo
Nope.
will make a beeline for Barnabas and give him a hug and say, "You couldn't wait 18 fucking hours?"
He kind of pats you on the back and looks around at his subordinates in the tent and says, "It's good to see you too, Echo."
Echo will clue into that and back up out of the hug. So, we're here. Everybody's here. How
Yes.
goes the war? What are the bracers? Echo points to the bracers on top of all the metal.
It's just
Barnabas looks at Echo directly and says, "They will protect you."
He'll pick up one and start looking at it, but like there's two, right?
There's two.
I would like to grab the bracers, and I'm gonna spend like a quick minute casting Identify.
Excellent. They are bracers of defense.
Okay, so Kritha, in Dwarven, but very quietly, says, "I was told that there are gods after you, and I was very feared for your life, and I didn't do very well, but I didn't realize that you had just, it's not really important, but you must watch yourself, if not for your sake, then for his." And she looks and shifts at Echo and looks really quick back. Like, you guys probably maybe didn't even see it.
No, Echo's still looking at the bracers. But there is also someone I would like you to meet. And if he's still waiting outside the tent, Echo will introduce Barnabas to his uncle.
His uncle looks down at Barnabas and says, "Yes, King Barnabas, very nice to meet you for the first time ever." Puts his hand out. Barnabas shakes his hand and nods at him in respect.
Yes, for the first time. Awkward.
Is Praza being honest or is he being sarcastic?
Give me an insight check. It's hard to tell with your uncle. It's hard to tell with him.
Insight check the DM.
You're pretty sure he's being sarcastic. You're pretty sure these two know each other. You're pretty sure.
Echo asks in Dwarven as they're flying along. So, I mean, this question is really more for Durgadin, but like, go ahead and give me any opinions you might have. How does one start a courtship with a Dwarven king?
Okay, now there's a high-pitched sound that not everybody can hear, but may be because of some bad stuff.
And out loud, as you're attempting to ask this, Durgadin is going, "Ah!"
Durgadin, buddy, rein it in. Answer my question. Echo's like, they're there.
Durgadin, I know we're not having a good time, but at the same time, I must know, how would Echo do the thing?
Let me think as a super old school, old timey, like centuries ago Dwarven king. Uncut gems. Uncut gems would be a good start.
What? I give them to him?
Yes. Any Dwarven monarch would be honored to have a gem of sufficient quality that he could cut it and turn it into something truly amazing. The opportunity to do such a thing has been considered an expression of love for generations.
All right, uncut gems. What if? I mean, you're like a master forge crafter and all this.
I mean, I suppose.
This isn't really. I don't. He's not a crafter by trade. Would gems still be the appropriate gift?
I think perhaps you underestimate his abilities. You have to understand, I have touched Barnabas's mind. He has the soul of a crafter. The uncut gem is a symbol that acknowledges that people who are in a relationship change each other. Yeah? The gem is changed by the chisel, and the chisel is changed by the gem, and they both do their job and come out beautiful.
If you want to send a representative to speak to the leader of the Shield Dwarves, who are here in Durgadin's name to reclaim this mountain, I will vouch for them and I will guard them as they speak to him.
He will murder them.
He will
No,
not.
he won't.
You don't know that.
He will not, because I will not let him. And I know that trusting a random shield dwarf is very fucking hard. The first time I met this king of these shield dwarfs, he tried to kill me. And then the second time I met him, he almost fucking killed me. And now he is one of my best, most trusted companions. He is capable of change and seeing the people that he didn't used to see as people.
Your judgment, I believe I can trust. Because you clearly do not understand what you are suggesting.
Protect your brother and his reputation.
Always have.
And I can respect that.
And that of our how many times removed cousin? And
I was
Barnabas.
gonna ask.
And Barnabas, who was sort of absorbed in things, looks up and looks around and suddenly realizes there are more people there than he realized. He was sort of deep in his musings. He looks up and he looks around and he says, "Oh,
We ran into some other people trying to take the forge. It wasn't any of the orc forces. There was a contingent of the Dwergar that were there trying to gain access to the forge room.
His face goes stone. Understood. Continue your report.
We managed to talk to them, and they've backed off for now. They kind of weren't entirely knowledgeable about the thousands of orcs outside, and they seem to be rethinking that kind of whole numbers game. There's one of them. His name's Galvin. He's at the forge with Kretha and everybody.
He opens his mouth. His eyes go absolutely furious.
He
Suffered a fate worse than Dwergar death by us saving his life. Well, Echo saving his life.
I apparently Echo looks really taken aback by that.
So you decided, as you so often do, to show him mercy and take him in, which is a fate worse than death for a Grey Dwarf. Is that right?
Your Highness, you will note that we have a consistent code of ethics regarding prisoners, and I am afraid
Yes, I would not expect you to abandon a poor Grey Dwarf to his death. I wish that I could say I was surprised that you've adopted another one.
I don't think he's gonna stick around very long, but
Nor
there is
I,
an opportunity.
Tell me
Arnon.
more about the circumstances of his capture, please.
Arnon, the leader of the troop of Dwergar who were there, he listened to us and he heard what we were saying about the orcs and about the full moon coming up, and he backed off. And he said that even if he trusted us and our words to be true, he would not trust a shield dwarf. But there would be a way to prove a level of truthfulness if you could talk to Galvin. And then Galvin would be able to tell his people, Arnon and the rest, that he was able to have a conversation with you without blood being drawn. I think that would go a long way to improving relations with your neighbors.
What else did you reveal to this Alden?
Arnon.
Arnon. What else of our plans did you reveal to this gentleman?
that a large contingency of shield dwarves was inevitably coming to take the forge, and he did not have the means or the men to stop it.
Nor the means or the means to stand up to the orcs that were also going to make a huge push during the full moon.
And you revealed to him that our encampment would be under attack on the next full moon. Am I understanding you correctly?
No, we're pretty sure the orcs are heading for the forge. That's what we were talking about, them pushing into the mountain.
Okay. You must understand. I'm sure this Galvin is a perfectly pleasant person, and I'm sure his
Oh,
superiors were, if not pleasant, at least cordial.
oh, the opposite of that, but we understand.
But you
Arden
must
was
understand that gray dwarves are rarely their own masters. You must understand that whatever you revealed, you probably revealed to other prying ears. Who knows what was looking out this Arnin's eyes when you had your conversation with him?
they spoke of fighting to keep their people from being enslaved.
Of course they did. They were encountering you. They know
The
how to
one-
manipulate surface dwellers.
And so Echo feels really fucking bad about how what he thought was a kindness was also dealing a blow to this guy. And then to hear Barnabas laugh about it, laugh at the faux pas Echo had done. Ugh.
Well, like it was either the reaction was anger, and then Calder injected the line that made him laugh.
Barnabas, as he appears, looks around and he gets this sort of awe. He looks around and he says, "This is a place of legend. I was taught stories of this place when I was an infant. It exists, and I'm standing here." He looks at all of you, Vic and Echo and Calder and Kretha. He says, "There is nothing I can do and nothing I can give you that will repay this debt. Thank you."
That's very nice. Clear the path. We have more coming through.
Moving along. We don't have a whole lot of time. I know you're very busy. I didn't ask before I started talking to the Dwergar here. What do you intend to do about the Dwergar once you own the forge?
This one specifically, or the
No.
rest of them?
All of them. Because there's passages up into this mountain from the Underdark. We know that.
I and
The
mine.
Dwergar were here first
Well,
in the modern era. They found the forge first.
they were squatting here before we got here. That is correct.
I am not intending to fight a war on two fronts if that's what you're concerned about.
No, I'm asking about afterwards. Everything goes right. The orcs are repelled and Grumpsh gets a good kick to his ass. What were your plans for your neighbors? Or do you have any?
The shield dwarves and the dwerger have long thought. We know how to secure an area from incursion without needing to resort to direct violence. We are certainly capable of finding any holes in the Citadel's defenses, rebuilding, and reinforcing.
Perhaps it would be best if afterward you finally came to an accord. You will be neighbors regardless. If you take over the forge, you will be neighbors. You're not going to go into the Underdark and try and get rid of them. And it's best if they don't come up here and try, but you are neighbors. And that will be a fact. And wouldn't it be better to take care of one another instead of bringing back those ancient wounds?
He looks at Calder.
On a practical level, the Dwerger are at the moment neutral, depending on how they behave during the upcoming battle. If they are at the very least neutral and do not interfere, that is far and away the friendliest interaction your clan has had with the Dwerger in several hundred years. If they actively help in removing the orcs, even if it is out of their own self-interest, there's the simple practical reality that you don't have to like each other to hate the same enemy.
My knowledge of the Dwerger is that if they see something they wish to possess and determine that they cannot, they will move on. There is every likelihood that this is the last we will have seen of them.
Entirely possible.
That said, It is a contingency I should think on, and I'm afraid I do not have the capacity to spare at this time. I ask that we table this question until we are out of immediate danger. Bring it up again once the full moon has passed.
The honorable thing to do would be to leave them alone.
Barnabas looks over at Echo and says, I suppose I already know your position in this, but I'd like to hear it from you anyway.
Echo takes a second to look at everybody else in the room before looking back at Barnabas. You asked me once if you should do this. If I thought this was the right move. I stand by it. There needs to be someone here to keep Grumsh from this well of magical power. But I've begun to doubt if this much power is good for anyone.
I will agree to amnesty for this one. For Galvin.
Echo is contemplating all of this, and he definitely has that line in his mind of, if it looks like we're going to lose control of the forge to the orcs and their army, he is going to do his best to destroy it so that they can't use it. And that's the hard line in his brain, but there is a almost translucent, very soft line starting to form of, at what level would I not trust Barnabas with this forge? And he hasn't quite figured that out yet.